Kurt Busiek is hailed as one of Marvel and DC's sort of premier writers from the 90s. And he did a very storied run on Superman. And he's out on Blue Sky throwing a fit about J.K. Rowling trying to cancel the new Harry Potter series and her because they can't handle people, of course, just dealing with objective reality that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. This is this type of mental illness that has gone all the way across the comic book industry. It's gone all across the publishing industry, and they're all cordoning themselves off on Blue Sky, just saying these bizarre, crazy things in 2025 to an echo chamber because they've pretty much ostracized themselves from normal society. And this is just an indication of what's happening at this point. Now, pretty funny as the Superman movie's coming out that he's doing this, trying to get some attention for himself. Very clear what's going on here, as you know, he's not really thought about very much these days. And J.K. Rowling, of course, is thought about all the time, as typically what this industry is an industry based on clout, and that's what they go for all of every single day, rather than actually trying to just get work done and trying to generate real readership. It is a really sick thing. So let's get into the news in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button here as we talk about all things science fiction and fantasy, your real fantasy news, as I like to say, my friends. And I'm a fantasy and science fiction author myself. If you like Harry Potter, I think you'll really enjoy For Steam and Country. This is a airship swashbuckling adventure that's a coming-of-age story that's a lot of fun, and it builds up over the series into this like epic war that you'll really enjoy. So grab this. It's in the description below. Support our channel. Get all 6 books, guys. Catch up on the series. It's a lot of fun, like I said. And it's available on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience. Thanks for being here and reading and supporting us in our independent works. All right, so comic book writer Kurt Busiek, known for Astro City as well as creating the Thunderbolts. His runs on Superman and the Avengers, and actually my favorite of his was Untold Tales of Spider-Man. Do you guys remember that one? Let me know if you do in the description below. That was really good stuff. It's sad watching this guy be so hateful. It really is. And I first actually came across him in 2017. Somebody was writing some blog about me, just calling me all these names and stuff like that because I voted for Trump, and I'm a science fiction writer, and you can't have that. And Kurt Busiek just went in there just swearing about me in the comments. And I'm like, I've never interacted with you in my life. Like, I've read your books growing up, and like, do you normally act like this towards people? But this is who these people are in this industry. The comic book industry is one of just this political insider whisper network. And the publishing industry in science fiction and fantasy is this political insider whisper network. And they can't handle any diversity. As much as they shriek diversity to the rooftops, they can't handle it. They cannot even view you as another human being. Everything that they talk about with bigotry and hatred and all that, they are projecting from their own worldviews onto other people. Most normal people just don't engage in this kind of stuff, but unfortunately, these people are bitter and angry at the world, and so they want to make everybody else bitter and angry at the world with them. I've never gotten an apology. I emailed him. I said, I've read your books and stuff. Did not get an apology from him. Very sad. I said, you know what? I even told him, we went back and forth for a bit, and I said, you know what? I next time I'm in Seattle, I'll come grab a beer with you. You can actually treat somebody like a human. And no, they can't do that. I try, I try to treat people like you want to be treated. It's the golden rule, right? But, this industry is not like that. These people are just sick individuals is what it comes down to. It's very, very sad. So naturally, he calls J.K. Rowling a bigot and claims she harms trans people. There we go. So on Blue Sky, Busiek made comments about Rowling in response to user Steve Kidd, who said the people at Warner have flat out said they're not letting her Twitter bullshit into the show, and she gets even worse during the production, they'll boot her. Either way, just seems like she's just a consultant like on the movies with very little say. Oh my gosh. And there it is, hashtag trans people are people. I don't know where that's even coming from. And so Busiek chimes in and says, and yet she profits from it and uses those profits to harm trans people. Now, this is all just complete garbage. She's using it to protect real women who are getting their spaces invaded by men pretending to be women. And the thing is, like, here you're, again, allowed to go out there and put on a dress, say your name's Martha, whatever it is. And the thing is, other people have their right to just not have to accept that and not say, yes, this is legitimately something that you are not. It is your mental illness. You can project that all you want as long as you're not hurting anybody else or intruding upon anybody else's space. That's how our society works. I don't know that it's a good thing to even allow it to be that permissive. But what's happened over time is they've been trying to force everybody into their little pronoun game, as we know. And normal people have just said, no, this has gone too much. It's gone too far. Stop it and leave us alone, right? And Kurt Busiek will not allow anybody to be left alone. And, you know, on Blue Sky, they pretty much are leaving people alone because they're shouting into the void at this point. And he continues, whether or not she's a consultant or not, the success of the IP leads to harm for trans people. All right, this is ridiculous. And again, you can't allow an artist to have their own art and do their own things and make their own books because Kurt Busiek says so. And this is what they want. I mean, J.K. Rowling is in a fortunate spot where even though she's getting canceled by all these people, Harry Potter is too big to fail. For the rest of us writers who do things like, myself, we don't have that sort of critical mass behind us already. And so it's like tooth and nail fighting for readership against these people who, spend their entire days trying to destroy you personally when we're just trying to create art and make our own books and things like that. They can't allow us to do that. That's what they are. They're really just like attempting to gatekeep the industry for themselves. It's a big, petty, personal, professional thing, creating this whisper network, as I've said before, where they want to be the ones in control and they want to be the only ones who are allowed to be published, etc. And with independent publishing and the like, they've really not done a very good job of that because I can just make my own books. I've sold over 30,000 copies of this book without Kurt Busiek's permission. As much as he's bleated about me and all that, I've been able to make myself a career that's actually sold a lot more books than a lot of his friends have, right? And that's why they seethe about it, because their little gatekeep attempts aren't working as much in the modern world. Everyone makes their own choices, but whether she's creatively involved in the show doesn't seem to be a crucial issue. Yes, it's just about hating her and making sure she's unhuman and not treated like a human. She has to be harmed. She has to never work again, all because she has views that are different than Kurt Busiek's. You see how it is. This is bigotry right here. This is the textbook's definition of bigotry. It's very, very sad. So somebody says, was that the crux of that weirdo's argument? I agree that the actors probably don't deserve to be harassed, but deciding not to watch something for whatever reason isn't harassment. It's deciding not to watch something. Very funny that they're saying this over on Blue Sky. Now, remember, we've said that we're not going to be watching a bunch of these MCU movies and not going to be reading these comic books that have all this woke stuff in it. And when we say that stuff, they've screamed harassment at us over and over and over again for the last few years. This is so ironic that they're saying this now. This is what they wanted. They wanted everything bifurcated into these little political tribal things for everything. You can't just enjoy a book anymore because of people like Kurt Busiek, and it's really sad. Yes, the cast and crew shouldn't be harmed just because the bigoted lady who owns the property is a bigot. But what cast and crew should be harmed? And does not watching something constitute harm? The repercussions of such a stance seems unworkable. It's just angry. I mean, like, why are you so mad, Kurt Busiek? Like, are you transitioning into a woman or something like that? Are you trying to get on those hormone pills since you don't have any relevance any longer? Is that what's going on? Very sad. So, ridiculous. He made it clear in 2017. He called for Marvel to render classic characters more diverse. He says, there's times I think Marvel should just have Shaper or Worlds or someone wave his hands and render the classic characters more diverse. So he wants black Captain America and female Thor and a gay Asian Hulk. Like he wants it hand-waved into reality. And they did do this. They did this in the comics, by the way. If you didn't follow the comics in the Marvel Now era where they did all this, all it did was people stopped reading it because people didn't want a Hulk who's not the Hulk or Thor who's not the Thor or Spider-Man who's not Spider-Man. People don't want that out of those characters. You can't just do this to characters, and that's exactly why Harry Potter's having the main problems they're going to have is not because of J.K. Rowling rightly saying that a woman is a woman and a man is a man. The main problem they're going to have is the fact that they've replaced Snape with a black guy when Snape is clearly not black in the books. I mean, this is something that is obvious about the show. And so here it is. I expect many readers would be glad I'm not running Marvel. Yeah, we are, because you're insane at this point. And this is why, of course, he's kind of out of things. But Marvel and DC have stages that are crowded with white guys because they filled up the stages in the 60s. And you see, it's always about hating white people, right? Which is weird because he's a white guy. It's a self-hatred thing. It's such a weird thing going on. So in some ways, reworking the universe to look more contemporary doesn't feel like not showing Peter Parker in a yellow sweater vest, blah, blah, blah. Making changes like that doesn't change main history. It updates it. Oh, my gosh. So this is what they do. They want to change all the lore. They want to switch everything up. They want to make everything into their little weird diversity stuff where it's not diverse at all. It just looks like every other Netflix show or every other Hulu show or every other Apple TV show, where it's a cookie cutter thing where you got the black guy, you got the white woman who's really in charge and smarter than everybody else, you got the ambiguously gay guy, and you got the like weird mixed race person in there who you don't know, but no white males, because we don't want any of those. And that's what it's all about. It is hatred of white males and hatred of white people in general, which is bizarre because, again, most of these people are white. It makes you wonder what kind of weird mental illnesses they have. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Crazy stuff going on in the industry. Hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, check out For Steaming Country on Amazon today. Grab all 6 books. Start your reading journey. Really appreciate you. It's available on ebook, print, and audio. We'll be back soon.